Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I make knitting tutorials and today we are going to learn how to make this very easy kimono pattern. So this kimono is going to fit 6 to 12 months old baby. If you like my tutorials, please do subscribe to my channel. It really helps me a lot. So before we start knitting, I want to give you a little bit of information about the construction of this kimono. So this kimono is knit up in flat panels. The back panel, front panels and the two sleeves are knit up separately in small panels, and later on I have joined them together using a tapestry needle. And for the pattern I have used simple garter stitch all over the kimono. So it is going to be a perfect beginner pattern. If you are a beginner and just know how to do a knit stitch, then you can definitely knit up this kimono. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. You can find the free PDF link in the description box below. So for the yarn, I'm going to use this Oswald Winter Gold yarn. It is 80% wool and 30% acrylic yarn, and it is a light worsted weight yarn. And for the needles, I'm going to use these 4mm circular needles. You can also use straight needles for this project. The cast on method that I'm going to use for today's project is the long tail cast on method. If you don't know how to do the long tail cast on, you can go ahead and watch the full tutorial that I have made on this cast on method. I will leave a link to it in the description box. Otherwise, you can use any method that is comfortable for you. So we are going to start knitting the back panel first. So go ahead and cast on 56 stitches for the back panel. Here I have finished casting on 56 stitches. Now let's go ahead and start knitting row number 1. So for row number 1, we are going to knit through all the stitches. Insert the needle knitwise and you are going to knit each and every stitch of this row. Here I have the last stitch of row number 1. We are simply going to knit through it, and with that we have finished knitting row number 1. Now we are going to turn the work and start knitting row number 2. For row number 2, we are going to start with a slip stitch. So slip the first stitch purlwise and then take the working yarn to the back. This helps in creating the edge stitch, which is going to be very helpful later on to join the panels together. So slip the first stitch, take the working yarn to the back, and next we are going to start knitting all the stitches. So knit through all the stitches till the end of the row. The pattern that we are using for this project is the garter stitch. In garter stitch, you knit through all the stitches on the right side as well as on the wrong side. Here I have the very last stitch of row number 2. We are going to knit that, and we have finished knitting row number 2. And this is what the work looks like. The garter stitch has already started to form. So next we are going to knit row number 3. Row number 3 is exactly same as row number 2. We are going to slip the first stitch purlwise, insert your needle purlwise and slip the stitch without purling. Next, take the working yarn to the back and we are going to start knitting through all the stitches. Knit through all the stitches till the end of the row. Now we are going to repeat row number 2 and continue to work in garter stitch until the work measures about 10.5 inches in length. Here I have finished knitting the back panel. I am going to lay it on a flat surface and measure it. So the length is about 10.5 inches. I'm happy with this length. If you want to make it a little bit longer, you can go ahead and add a few more rows. Next, I'm going to cast off or bind off stitches. For binding off, I'm going to use a very simple bind off method. We are going to start by knitting the first 2 stitches. So knit the first 2 stitches, and then we are going to pass this second stitch on our right hand needle over the first one. With the help of the left hand needle, you are going to lift the second stitch and pass it over the first one to bind off one stitch. Next, again knit one, again pass this second stitch over the first one. And while you are binding off stitches, try not to pull the stitches too tight, otherwise you are going to end up having a very tight bind off. Try to keep the tension a bit relaxed. So continue to bind off stitches till the end of the row. And once you have finished binding off all the stitches, just go ahead and cut the yarn and make a knot to secure it. So we have finished making the back panel. Now I'm going to show you the sleeves panel, which I have already unknitted up. So for the sleeves, you need to make 2 rectangular pieces again in the garter stitch. So for making the sleeves, you are going to work in the garter stitch, and the number of stitches that you are going to cast on for the sleeves is 40 stitches. So cast on 40 stitches on 4mm needles and work in garter stitch until it measures about 8 inches in length. So mine is a little bit less than 8 inches, but it is going to be okay. So go ahead and make these 2 panels for the sleeves. And once you have finished making all the 3 rectangular panels, we are going to go ahead and start making the front panels. For the front panel, we are going to cast on 18 stitches. So cast on 18 stitches and then start working in garter stitch. So we are going to work in garter stitch for about 11 rows. So you're going to knit through all the stitches on the right side as well as the wrong side, and do not forget to slip the first stitch to create the edge stitch. Here I have finished knitting 11 rows of garter stitch. Now we are going to take a stitch marker and place it after the first 2 stitches. And from this row we are going to start doing the increases to shape the front panel. Slip the first stitch and take the yarn to the back and then knit 1. Next, slip the stitch marker onto your right hand needle, and then we are going to cast on 1 stitch next. So for casting on, you are going to wrap the yarn around your index finger like so. Wrap it and twist it to make a loop like so, and then you're going to slide this loop onto your right hand needle and then pull the yarn. So it is a very easy cast on method. So cast on one stitch, and next we are going to knit through all the stitches till the end of the row. So we increased one stitch on this row. I have one last stitch remaining. I'm going to knit that, and next we are going to turn our work, and in the next row we are simply going to knit through all the stitches. We are not going to increase any stitches on this row. So slip the first stitch and knit through all the stitches. So this is the cast on stitch from the previous row. You're going to knit that as a normal knit stitch. Once you have finished knitting that row, you're going to turn your work, and on this row we are again going to increase a stitch. So slip the first stitch, knit one, slip the stitch marker, and again we are going to cast on one stitch. So wrap the yarn around your index finger, make a loop, and then you are going to drop that loop on your right hand needle. Next, knit through all the stitches till the end of the row. So up until now we did 2 increases. We started off with 18 stitches. After this row we are going to have 20 stitches on our needle. On the next row we are going to knit through all the stitches without increasing any stitches. From here you are going to work on repeat. On the right side you are going to increase stitches as I showed you, and on the wrong side you are going to knit through all the stitches without increasing any stitches. If you are confused, I will leave written instructions on the screen. Just follow these 2 rows and continue to knit until you have 56 stitches on your needles. I just wanted to give you a quick update. After you have done a few rows of increase, your work will start to look like this. So continue to do the increases until you have 56 stitches on your needles, and I will meet you there. So here I have finished doing all the increases. Right now I have 56 stitches on my needles, which is same as the back panel. And now we can go ahead and stop doing the increases. You can remove the stitch marker, and we are going to work these 56 stitches in garter stitch until the front panel measures same as the back panel in length. So here I have finished knitting the front panel. I roughly did about 8 or 10 rows of garter stitch, and it is same length as the back panel. You can also place the back panel in a flat surface, and then on top of that you lay the front panel to measure that it is equal in length. And once you have finished doing that, you can go ahead and bind off stitches. And for binding off, I'm going to use the same method that I used for binding off stitches for the back panel. So I have finished making the front panel. Now we are going to follow the same instructions to make another front panel as well. So you're going to make 2 front panels following the same instructions. So go ahead and do that, and next we can assemble all the pieces together. You should have 5 panels in total, 2 front panels, 1 back panel and 2 panels for the sleeves. Once you have got all the panels ready, we are ready to join them. We are going to join the body first, so lay the back panel first, and on top of that you are going to lay one of the front panels. Both the panels are same, so you can use any one of those, and you are going to take a stitch marker and place it on the inner side like so to hold both the panels together. And we are going to use this scrap yarn I have on the front panel. If you don't have it, you can use a new yarn and a darning needle. So for sewing, we're going to turn our work inside out. So pass the needle through a few times to secure your work first, and next we are going to sew using the chains on the top. You can see these V-shaped stitches on the very top. We are going to use that. So you are going to pass your needle through these stitches like so of both the panels, and then you're simply going to sew them together. And once you have finished joining the panels together, make a knot to secure it and weave in the ends. Once you have finished joining one front panel, we are going to go ahead and join another front panel. So align this front panel with the back panel as well and place a stitch marker to hold it in place. Next, we are going to turn our work inside out, and I don't have any scrap yarn on this panel, so I'm going to use a new yarn and a darning needle. So we are going to use the same method. You are going to tie a knot to secure the yarn first, and then we are going to use the chains on the top to join the panels together. Next, we are going to join the sleeves, and before joining the sleeves, take a good look at your sleeves panel. You can see one part or one end has these chains on the top. We are going to use that section to join with the body panel. So take a body panel and open it up like so. So this is the right side. Flip your work onto the wrong side. We are going to use the wrong side to sew the panels together. Now fold the panel in half, and then you're going to take a stitch marker. Now place this stitch marker right in the middle section, and then you're going to join this to the shoulder seam of the body like I am showing you here. Next, take two stitch markers and place them on the extreme ends of the sleeves panel, joining it with the body like I'm showing you. Next, take a tapestry needle and start joining the panels together. Once you are done, tie a knot to secure your work. So we have finished joining the sleeve, and this is what it looks like from the right side. So this is what our work looks like so far. Now next we are going to join the another sleeve. Follow the same instructions to join another sleeve as well. I have finished joining both the sleeves. Now we just need to sew up the sides. So turn your work inside out. For joining the sides, we are going to use the edge stitches again. So align the sides properly and then we can start joining them together. Here are the edge stitches, which are formed by slipping the first stitch of every row. So you're going to secure the work first by making a knot and then start joining the sides. Here I have finished joining all the sides together, and this is what the piece is looking like so far. Here you can see the edge stitches gives a really nice finishing after you sew them together. So next we are going to weave in all the loose ends. I'm going to show you how to weave in the ends. I have finished weaving in all the loose ends. Now we just need to make some tying cords. For making the cords, I am going to use a crochet hook. It is 4.5mm crochet hook, and then I'm going to hold 2 strands of yarn together and chain 30. So follow the instructions to make the tying cords. Insert your hook right about here or 1 inch from the bottom on the inside, and then you're going to start chaining 30 stitches. So I have finished making all the tying cords, and this is the final piece. Now I'm going to do a quick measurement for you guys. So we have finally finished making this kimono. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial and the instructions were clear enough for you guys to follow. And if you like this tutorial, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Till then, I will see you next time. Bye bye and take care.